Hello everyone, we are Team Deep Clearance, and as Sean previously mentioned, we're going to be doing a little bit different formatting today, but so just as we started our project this semester, our initial problem that we thought we had was to determine these different environments within underground areas, such as natural environments or man-made environments that people could be taking cover in. However, that has evolved into a more technical problem that we have now, which we'll get into more a little bit later. But currently, our main problem is trying to solve the connection issue that we have between sending signals out of the cave and getting them back to the receiving end so that they can interpret the data. So, my name is Michael Zern, I'm an engineering major.
I'm Giovanna, I'm a biology major. I'm Cassandra Hagstad, I'm a CIS major.
I'm Josh, I'm a nursing major.
I'm Marshall, an IA major.
All right, this is the comic we made for this week, and it just simplifies our problem into a series of pictures. Here, the Rangers come across a cave, and all of a sudden, they begin to take fire. They notice they have a man down, and here, they decide to make a decision whether or not to go into the cave or not, and clearly, they shouldn't do that because they don't want to lose any more men. So they have to figure out what they're going to do. And in the end, they decide on the prime solution, and that is to figure out the layout of the cave and whatnot. Michael will explain more about that.
So we decided to focus on our four main beneficiaries for this problem. The two sponsors, Mentor and our DARPA contractor. So they listed their gains for what they want to see from this project, and it is, number one, they want to know if anybody is in this cover. Number two, what's their current status, incapacitated, fully functional, all that kind of stuff. Number three is mapping out the structure, and the fourth is understanding if there's any booby traps, IEDs, things like that can hurt the Rangers that would go into the cave. So when looking at the pains that they all have, they all come together in this sort of area of this connectivity issue, which is what I've mentioned previously. So that is what we have decided to focus our problem on, and that's why we have currently evolved the problem into this connectivity issue.
So looking at our new MVP, it's kind of the same idea of our previous MVP. The major issue that they have is getting the signal back out of the cave. Our sponsors have said that drones will possibly be one of the best platforms in order to deliver this, and we're still looking into if that's true or not. But the one major aspect that they said was that inside of caves or inside of buildings, connection is lost via the GPS, the actual signal from the sensors and stuff. So one of this week's MVP is to use an autonomous system for the drones and using swarm tech to utilize a series of drones, and as the system is deployed inside of a cave, you have drones that drop out of formation and essentially become wireless hotspots. And then that way, the drones are constantly sending signals back out of the cave, kind of like a breadcrumb thing. Obviously, we can't do this with big drones, if they would be too heavy to carry, so we're thinking of smaller drones. Each one would be loaded with different sensors, so half of them would be having thermal cameras or some other form of IR cameras. The other half would have some sort of mapping sensor, whether that be something like Google Tango. We have some other companies that we're looking at that also do very good visualization of terrain and stuff. And when this all boils down to the user side, we still have a ruggedized tablet running an ATAC software because it's so adaptable and the Rangers are used to it.
Okay, so just like Michael said, we basically were trying to hone in this week, and we realized that where we were struggling is that we were too broad on our problem, and we realized we had two different problems. We have a hardware problem, and we have a software problem. So basically, our weekly focus point this week was to focus on this connection issue because that was everybody's main, pain point. So it's the issue of getting a signal inside and outside the cave. And we wanted to focus on new technology that could possibly help us do that. We were thinking LiDAR and our old one, but a bunch of people we've interviewed, it's just too heavy. It's not going to work, so we need to focus on different technologies. which is then our pain reliever. So this week, we heard about some new technology. We heard about this project, Tango, which is made by Google, which is now a smaller version of 3D mapping that works. We also came across autonomous drones, so we kind of changed our whole MVP to focus on autonomous drones, as well as the swarm technology, and a couple people said the breadcrumbs, as Marshall talked about.
So for our future plans, we just talked to our sponsors recently, and we picked a date that we're going to go up to 4AP Hill with them, as well as meet up some other 75th Rangers and see them in action, see their equipment, how they pack it, where a drone or something would be able for them to carry on with them, to also have them show us the Google Tango. They're trying to get their hands on that as well. We're going to talk with specific vendors, specifically like companies that are specializing in drone or Department of Defense technology, and we're going to research new technology. So unlike LiDAR that's heavier, there's a technology called terahertz that's using a lot of high-frequency electromagnetic waves. So we're going to look more into that because Josh and I just heard about that this afternoon and talked to a company. Well, we talked to a company, and they said if you want us to build terahertz technology for you, just contact them. That was really nice. So, yes, a lot of research and more technology people for the coming week.
Done?
Okay, yeah, sure.
1, 2, 3. Questions, comments?
Would you go back to the first slide, please? Defense fisheries, this one right here.
This one, like before that?
Do you see that as a challenge trying to accommodate more groups, or do you prioritize them?
So one of the aspects, the sponsors 1 and 2, they're both Rangers. Our mentor is Army, and he was platoon leader, so he has kind of an officer's point of view, whereas our sponsors are kind of the ground level. And then the DARPA contractors, they have experience working with the military in figuring out these problems. They're the military's arm of their research unit. So they have this idea, they already know kind of the challenges that they've been brought to and some of the things that they've seen. And what they all kind of listed are all relatively similar. And as they're kind of at the forefront of our problem, whether it be they're the guys using it, they're the guys ordering it to be used, or they're the guys who make the stuff, they all kind of fall in the same category.
So I want you to talk to a guy named Sven Bruckner. He runs a company called Axon AI in Harrisonburg. He is a PhD in computer science from University of Michigan, and he is a national expert on swarm technology. And also talked to Gabe Nicolescu, who is a swarm technology guy in physics. So they're both really good. And also look at a website called Structure.io.
I'm writing it down here. Oh, thank you.
Structure.io, and because there's a really cool mapping hardware device that works on with an iPad. And I have 3 of them that you can test out.
Yeah, we also have some contacts with the Air Force Academy who are developing and.
Look at Structure.io. It's developed in Colorado Springs, right outside the airport, the Air Force Academy.
Without questions? What about presentation format, audience?
I like it. Yep.
What do you like about it?
Easy. Seems easier to present on.
Yeah, basically what we were trying to do was we were trying to lay out our problem, and then show you our MVP, and then justify how we got there this week and why we're at that point.
Yeah. I think it's good.
We're trying to focus in something else before you want us to start focusing in on that problem. So we have a concept now.
This helps understand. I think if all the groups understand that you've got all these different competing, sometimes complementary problems and pain points, that it helps you identify the one that is something that you might be able to fix.
We're not going to be able to solve every single problem. So picking one and doing that, I think, is the most successful way.
Great.
Boom, mic drop.
Yeah, the reason I would make this presentation, I think it would be really good to have that as a handout. Right, that's right, impossibility, right? And it just gives people an option to scribble things down, to look at kind of complex information over, beyond the slide, right? But a really nice flow, the use of the comic was kind of genius, and it was great, I loved it. What I would like you guys to do, if you wouldn't mind, is on the general channels of Slack, could you maybe either share your slides and map out the flow, the sequence of the slides, so that maybe, would other groups like to try this model for next week? I do want to hack the hacking model.
Yeah.
Cool. So if you can just get us maybe withdraw your slides, how you come up with that process would be really useful for everyone else to maybe follow. A really good one.
One important thing, if we are going to hack the hacking model, you must have your value proposition canvas and you must have your mission model canvas on your Google Drive so that we can see them. It would be nice to have them as a handout. All right, so we're not saying we're going away from the process that we're teaching. We're saying we're going to present the information differently, but we still want to see and need to see that you're executing the lean process.
The presentation focuses on what's changing, but the lean process is still.
It's still going on in the background.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
1, 2, 3.